Part 8, 10:11 p.m. on Monday, February 3rd. She lay down on her back on the salt flats, arms wide like an angel, let her eyes close again. When she opened them, she saw she was surrounded by comically oversized stern pigeons staring down at her, the sky looking like the ceiling of the Vatican, richly patterned in gold and blue. She felt like she was inside that widely circulated photo supposedly taken by a person lying down on a cathedral floor surrounded by concerned pigeons. She led her senses towards trying to understand how this picture was surrounding her now. She closed her eyes tight and reopened them, the way she would do when caught in a tense dream in her childhood, how it would open her sleeping eyes so she could find herself in her childhood bed, awake and safe. This time, the image didn't change, but she could see it better on the other side of this ritual. It was people in dove-gray robes and enameled metal pigeon masks. One asked her, "You look tired. Can I take you to a safer place to sleep?" She instantly trusted them, but she asked anyway, "Where's this safer place?" They replied, "Dove Camp, 345 in Communion. We are a bunch of old anarchists and ravers who care about communal well-being, and this year we are dressing up like concerned pigeons from the Vatican, carrying around this replica ceiling and rescuing people passed out in the salt flats before they get run over by art cars. We have tons of cozy sleep spots set up. Can I pull you in your wagon?" She said yes, and cuddled up in her wagon. One of the pigeons said, "The replica ceiling is also a blanket. May I cover you with it?" She nodded. Yes. As they pulled her across the salt flats, she could see the pink fog lifting. In the long distance, the center statue, the man, coursing with arcs of Tesla coil energy up its lengths. Closer to her, but still afar, she saw Ariana Grande dressed like Alien. Futuristic eggplant leather boots up to her shoulders, cropped mecha sweatshirt, unmistakable ponytail. Loping across the salt flats, every footstep a statement. Covered by an iconographic blanket, she watched the inverted world go by. Recursive inversion's theory of relativity, specific relativity. She felt iconoclastic, ready to start fresh, but lazy. Being pulled in a wagon gave her a childlike undertone like, "Can you reset the default for me, Mommy? Please?" Then, of course, she thought about her kid, missed her kid, checked the phone for text from them. Blessed by a Facebook Messenger notification from her kid's dad's account, but her kid, of course. 10 femme stickers stacked on top of each other, one grainy video of kid dancing by the statue in Fort Greene Park, while someone sang, "John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt," off camera. She sent back 3 stickers. A cupcake wearing a peaceful smiley face, an astronaut holding onto a comet flying by, and 2 sloths wearing party hats hugging each other. She missed her kid. It made her anxious. She had never been able to enjoy hedonism in the same way post-parenthood, a new gravity to the life wish. "Miss you. I love you. Hope you are having fun," she added below the stickers. She felt her life and her world as this heightened state, the hyper-possible but also grounded in our shared reality, anchored in a common place. Whatever that means, she thought to herself, like, how important is it to have relatable feelings / experiences / etc., even when you and everything around you is made of words that can do anything? She remembered tripping on acid with Annie at Umpqua Hot Springs in like 2005, peaking so hard that she had to run to the river and climb out on a log above the water, barf into the rapids, feel coursed through with their ions, both cleansed and brimming. How Annie said later that night, "I feel like I've fallen into a dictionary," and how she never really understood that feeling until now. Her skin felt like font. She refused convention, or at least as much as she thought she could. She knew she was embedded in systems she couldn't see and maybe couldn't change much. She figured she would try anyway, return to the serenity prayer, to Miranda July saying courageously, "In me and you and everyone we know." She hit her jewel on aromatherapy setting again, energizing blend, peppermint and lemon balm. She felt fresher as she exhaled, wanted to rouse herself further, so she shook the Vatican ceiling blanket from her shoulders, fished a gingham handkerchief and her Aura Glow rose water from her backpack, sprayed her face with it, draped the gingham across her face, pressed it in like a sheet mask. She opened her eyes behind the fabric and enjoyed the checkerboard overlay across her field of vision, muted blur glimpses of movement peeking through the fibers. She pulled the hair tie from her hair and started finger combing. Always pulled out hundreds of strands this way, yanking through tangles, but her hair never felt any thinner. It was her own little miracle. Magical materialism, she thought. Unsure of what materialism meant to the world at large, but not in the mood to Google it. Instead, she thought back to that surrealist musical comedian she dated when she first moved to Brooklyn in 2010. The video she had seen of him walking across the Williamsburg Bridge saying, "I'm a materialist. I'm a materialist." The aesthetics of physics, legitimacy, politics. No room for her type in the science lab, or she had no patience for the mood. Diminishing returns versus compounding interests versus battles in Mortal Kombat. Mind keeps drifting, the wagon in motion, she thought to herself. They had reached the Esplanade, the main street, the inner ring, where she remembered the biggest camps being set up, opulent temple, etc. It was busy, carts coming through, many decorated bikes, a group of people in sparkly booty shorts and Ugg boots. Various house music sound clashed all around her. As usual, she thought, no shortage of house out here. They passed across the energy of the Esplanade towards the early alphabet corridors, slightly quieter but still prime. She wondered how far the concentric alphabet streets went out those days. Was there a Z Street yet, and if so, was it named Zubumafu? One of the pigeons bent down to her and asked, "Okay if we stop here for a refresher?" They gestured to/through a large trellis covered with climbing roses, safety orange like the sunrise sometimes, leading into an open-air room edged with topiary hedges slightly under manicured blurry shapes. She could barely make out something interesting inside. "Let's do it," she said. They pulled her wagon next to the pile of bikes next to the trellis. She got out and walked through the room, followed the pigeon through the bar. She saw hanging letters and future in the past space font spelling out Ode Spa by Dis. Dis, the Cool Art magazine she had done that video for a few years ago. It's 2020, of course they are out here, she said to herself. The bartender offered her a pink drink. Watermelon kombucha cooler. "Want a little splash of sapphire?" they asked, and she accepted. The music was drony trancy synth, moody video gamey washes, Donkey Kong Country underwater level. She wondered if it was new from that producer she loved that did music like this. She could almost remember their name. She gave them a copy of a zine from Australia before, or a protege or knockoff. She couldn't see the DJ booth. She saw the boys she knew from Dis in matching indigo dip light and in pajamas towards spectral violet, animated in conversation with someone, maybe Ryan Trecarton, across the room. She felt too shy, maybe unrecognizable, sipped her kombucha gimlet, aiming for hiding in plain sight for some reason. The room was busy. She watched the boys greet a guest and give him a tour. They came closer to her, gestured to 5 bathtub-like sculptures, or sculptures of bathtubs, arranged in a circle in the center of the space. These are saltwater float tanks infused with various objects, potions, and intentions. We commissioned each one from a different artist, asked them to make it a place for their favorite person would love to be. It turned out pretty sweet, like this set of inward-facing altars, sunken memory palaces. At night, we clear the room and go for a sensual, regenerative vibe. Many candles, of course. Also commissioned, also full of treasures. They burn and melt and leave little piles of what was inside. Long form unboxing and melting. Grimes came in last night for a float. We haven't seen Elon, though. She said he was really on a permanent good one out here. Going grand, she called it. I didn't ask. She left really refreshed, yeah. We figured she might come, but we'd been planning these float tanks since way before she came out as a fan in the media. I know. We have an IRL ASMR corner at dusk and at dawn, whispers in each other's ears, make-believe haircuts. There's a place where you can paint each other's fingernails or go total mani-pedi reflexology foot massage on each other if you feel full on. We're going for full-service chill room, like everything you ever wanted in the cuddle-puddle area of a rave. All the goodwill, feelings, and interpersonal atmosphere, plus the material solutions to take you there. Access to resources. They grazed by her, and one of the boys she knew met her eye, half recognized her. Oh, hey, long time no see. What are you doing out here? She took a pull from her gimlet and shrugged. Not sure if she should say, just hanging out, I guess, or I'm on a quest, or spill her whole beans. She felt quiet and just smiled, decided to duck, offered a hug and a nice to see you. They complimented each other's outfits, and the boy said, I'm so sorry, but I'm drawing a blank. What's your name again? She felt pleased at the chance to make one up for the occasion. Today, my name is Mare, she said. I'm trying to have a new one daily, like setting my intention. Nice, said the boy. She knew his name, of course, but decided not to use it. She had to pee. Ecstasy must be wearing off, she thought to herself. She could never pee on ecstasy. Where do y'all go to the bathroom around here? She asked the boy. There's porta potties just around the corner. Let me show you, he said.